Welcome to the All Booked podcast, where librarians Ashley, Justin, Brittin, and Rosa talk about what they're reading and adding to each other's TBR list.
All right, welcome back, friends, to All Book Club. We are here and talking about all of our current reads. This is going to be for Season 4, Episode 2, set to be posted on November 1st. And I got a bunch of interesting ones. I had to stop a few as I was reading, but I think I'm happy with what I chose for this month. But Brittin, you are kicking us off today.
I'm kicking us off, and I have no books
That's okay.
because both of mine are checked out by somebody else right now, which is always a good thing. It's always a good thing.
I have one.
You have one. So I'm going to start off with Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. So Lynn Painter has done some adult and YA rom-com. This one is YA. And it's awesome because it's really meta, if you will.
Okay.
The protagonist, Liz, she and her mom love to watch rom-com movies. Liz's mom, unfortunately, passes away when Liz is pretty young, so is her mom, actually. And it kind of just sends her even deeper into rom-com mode. She's like a hopeless romantic and loves all of the tropes that if you're a rom-com fan like me, you love as well.
Enemies to lovers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So this book then uses all of those tropes. It's awesome.
Nice.
Her childhood crush moves back to town. She's a senior in high school now. And her childhood crush moves back into town, and she's positive they're soulmates, and this is meant to be. So she just needs to have the meet cute. So she's looking for her meet cute. It's not happening. So she decides she needs to enlist her nemesis, the boy next door, enemies to lovers.
Oh, I love it already.
Wes. And she and Wes just have like an ongoing feud. There's only one parking spot in between the two houses, and they fight over it. She called and got a ticket for him because he parked there too long one time, so that his car got towed. And, all sorts of stuff.
Unbelievable.
But he's friends with Michael, who's moved back to town, so they agree to. She's going to give him the parking spot indefinitely.
Okay.
If he gets Michael to ask her to prom.
Ooh. Okay.
It just goes through. We've got the boy next door, the enemies to lovers, the soulmates, unrequited love triangles. It's awesome. It's really fun. I really enjoyed the book. There's more in there. It's not just fluff. She's dealing with being a senior and all the grief that her mom has passed. It's been a number of years, so everybody kind of thinks she's fine. But senior year really does. There's a lot of parental involvement in all of it, and everybody's all happy, and she's not. But, mostly it's just a fun, light rom-com.
Nice.
If you like rom-coms, pick this one up because it's just really mostly fun to watch her work in yet another example of a rom-com. So
Nice.
I really enjoyed that one.
Okay.
And speaking of rom-coms, Laura Taylor Namey, who wrote Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow.
So good.
Movie's supposed to come out sometime soon. I don't know when, but
They're liars.
I know. This is a companion novel. It's British Girl's Guide to Hurricanes and Heartache. Exactly.
They got me with the title already.
Yes, it's a good one. So Flora is, if you did read the first one, Flora is a character in there. She's Orion's sister.
Yes.
If you didn't read the first one, that's fine. You don't need to. It stands alone.
You should still read it.
Yes.
But you should. Yeah, good point, Ashley. Good point.
Absolutely.
You don't have to read it before this one, but you definitely should read it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Flora's family's always called her a hurricane because she just kind of, bulldozes through life emotionally and sort of figuratively and literally. They're dealing with the grief of her mom's passing as well. And she's kind of, trying to come to terms with all of that. Also, she's coming up to when she needs to figure out what she's going to do for secondary studies. Her dad and Orion work to get her a scholarship and really want her to help with the family tea, and Lila's still in the book. She's still in there, so tea and bakery. But she doesn't really know what she wants to do. She's harboring guilt over things that happened as her mom was passing. Then her best friend, who's a guy, tells her he's in love with her. And she kind of just flips out and runs to Miami to stay with Lila's family, much like Lila ran to
England, too.
Who, by the way, Lila ran to Gordon's family's bed and breakfast. Gordon is Flora's best friend, who's the one who said he's falling in love with her. So we got some, some good crossover there.
Okay, so maybe you do, or you should read the first one.
It wouldn't hurt, but I don't think there was anything in there that you needed to know. Cool. While speaking of romantic tropes, while she's in Miami, she's trying to help Lila's sister, Peely, who needs a wedding photographer. So naturally, she is involved in a fake dating scheme with a famous photographer. That's how I would get a photographer. Isn't it the way you would?
Absolutely.
So she is dating. It's Baz is his name. He is also a photographer, and he's the son of a famous photographer. And it's Baz is going to do the wedding photography as long as Flora helps him get through this. He needs a fake date to keep his parents who are trying to set him up with someone.
These parents.
These parents, yeah. So if you read the first one, it's got the same sweet familial and friendship relationships. This one relies a little more, I think, on family than friend groups. There's all the yummy treats because
I was about
we're
to ask,
back at La Paloma.
Yeah,
lots of food.
Cool.
Lots of food. In fact, Flora is helping Lila in the bakery when the book starts, and then she's they have a Flora do list every day. So she's got things to do either for Pilar's wedding or for the bakery. So, yeah, we have, a love triangle then develops, and it's very sweet. There's lots of Cuban culture thrown in there. There's lots of Spanish peppered throughout. Just another kind of fun. I needed some fun, good books,
Yeah.
I know it's coming up on Halloween when we're recording this, but I already did my attempt at some Halloween reads, and I was ready for the light and fluffy.
I could not agree with you more because I actually took out 4 books for this because I couldn't decide. I had like 4 choices, and I had to stop reading one halfway because it just totally freaked me out.
Oh, boy.
And if anybody's interested, it's The Spirit Bears Its Teeth. And
I've heard really good things.
So good, but it's so like creepy and there's just so many. I'm not gonna get into it, but anyways,
it's
maybe
gotten great reviews.
It's got great reviews, but it's so weird. But if you're into like, I don't know, communing with the spirits and getting a perspective of somebody on an operating table, like in between, that's what you like, go for it. It was just not my cup of tea.
All right, so I'll read it for the next one.
Okay.
That sounds good.
And on that note, I'm gonna go next. So I decided to go with a graphic novel and a regular like historical fluff piece that I had to bring me back. So I read The Infinity Particle by Wendy Zhu. Sure. I apologize if I mispronounced that. She wrote Mooncakes, or she's the co-creator of Mooncakes. And in this graphic novel, we have Clem, who is a student in Earth, and she won this kind of job internship on Mars, where she's working for this like absolutely brilliant scientist who creates like the first humanoid AI character named Kai. And if you look at the cover, which we'll show, he's very dreamy, like obviously like, oh my gosh.
He's wearing a shirt. You should have like the shirt on.
So like in itself, like, first of all, Mars, how cool. Like we're living on Mars, we're doing all this cool stuff, and like in this world, like in Mars, there are like different areas that are different, like the desert, like just like Earth, but like different sectors. And she works for this person, and you find out that like she is not a very nice person, especially to her AI, who calls her mother. She's actually like the opposite of mother. She is very cruel and demeaning and not very nice. But through no fault of his own, there's a weird thing that happens where he starts glitching. And he starts having these memories. Oh. And you find out through the book what those memories are. And there's lots of different kind of theories and different things. They kind of lost me at all the scientific talk a little bit.
Okay, just let it roll.
Exactly,
over
the images carried me through. Yeah, the images carried me through. But it basically, asks into question, like, ethics with, people who are artificial or humanoid individuals who are AI. Like, what are they considered human beings? Do we treat them like so? And can they love and can they do all of this? It's so sweet and it's just very heartwarming. And you even find out that there's something very unique about her. She has this like really cute little droid that she made, Senna, who is just like the cutest little thing. I want one. And the best part is there is a library, and it's like a library with everything you can possibly think of. And the way you find materials is through owls. So I'm like, what? Sold. I want to live there.
How did it take this long?
I know.
That must have happened before, right?
That's the selling point of this book. If you have anything that you're going to pick this up, if you're into that, definitely. I enjoyed it. It's a quick read. Again, there's a bit of like very problematic issues, and they parallel like their parents and like their conflicts, but I thought it was very well done, short and sweet. I thought the I love you was kind of like too soon, too soon, friend. But then again, he's an AI, so I don't know. He doesn't know. Yeah. Where are all my Bridgerton fans? Nobody, crickets. So I'm the only one. And
I'm not a fan.
And another coworker who is not in this room will also agree that she is also a Bridgerton fan, but she'll never, So she... I read Queen Bee by Amalie Howard, and I believe this is her first young adult novel. She usually writes for adults. I picked it up because, again, it's sold as a Bridgerton meets Count of Monte Cristo. I don't really know. I mean, the revenge is there, but I wouldn't say it's like, I guess, Monte Cristo type. So we have dual perspectives, but it's a time duo. So we have... The main character is Lady Ella, and basically, just with any Regency piece, women are expected to be these pious, beautiful creatures, seen, not heard kind of deal. And of course, scandal followed her, which kind of, due to her ex-best friend, was the reason as to why she had to leave. She got sent away and like discarded like she was nothing. Like she vows revenge now for everything that was taken from her. So enter 3 years later, the perspective of Lyra Whitley, who is Lady Lyra, who is there posing as a completely different person, entering the town with like a list of to-do, which is to basically destroy this friend who ruined her reputation. So
very Edmund Dantes.
Oh my gosh, exactly. Yeah. So it's just like, number 1, like infiltrate the town. Yeah. Number 2, destroy this like friendship that she has with her friends. And like number 3, become the diamond of the first water. And like it's all these things that are like very, it's like every trope you can imagine for this. But the thing is with it that I find very charming is the relationship she has not only with a mentor named Church, who basically was like taking care of her after she was like abandoned and like discarded, and basically it's like, revenge is not what you think it is, sweetheart, but I will give you the funds and my title to
I'll give you the rope. Go hang yourself.
Yeah, do it. But then the guy interests, which it's just funny, like some of the parts, like it's really like you have to either really buy into this whole Regency thing, I just totally don't read it. If you don't like to hear about things like that or descriptions of like how swooty and like,
Does anywhere
you
wear
know,
breeches?
yeah, of course.
We have breeches, all right.
Of course. But yeah, like the banter is sweet. It's it's witty. It's everything you can imagine the back and forth is with the love interest. The sister that he has is fabulous, Zia. She's just so funny and charming. There's so many like secondary characters that are just that really carry the book, other than her. I could not put it down. I'm almost done with it, but again, I would highly recommend if you're in the mood for something just light and sweet, and just if you're a Bridgerton fan, I highly recommend it. I know you're not.
I checked out as soon as you started talking about it. I was like, nah, I'm not going to read that one. Sorry.
That's okay.
Somebody wake Ashley up.
That's why you are part of this club, because we need like variation.
I told you. I liked, what was it? Pride and Prejudice and Zombies more than I enjoyed Pride and Prejudice. Like, it needed something, and then it gave it to me.
Zombies, clearly.
And then it was much better, in my opinion. So I'll go next because I do not have light and fluffy at all. But I do have a kid's book. So in my opinion, reading a kid's book is light and fluffy. But so I did Ethan Aldridge's Deephaven. So Ethan Aldridge wrote the Estranged duology. That's pretty popular for the younger readers. But I would put this, I felt like this was probably appropriate for like a 6th grade level, honestly. Like I would say a young teen would be interested in this one. So it's dark academia. Our main character is Nev, or Guinevere. So Nev comes from a very troubled background. Nev's father was, their mother left when they were very young. Their father is just a hot mess. Like, just doesn't pay their rent, doesn't, everything that they have is because of Nev. So Nev, one of their skills is they tinker. So they create these little, like, I don't know, like figurines and stuff like that out of like pieces of a clock. And
interesting.
Yeah, so they place them out on a blanket in the park, and then they take the money, and then that's how they pay their rent. That's how they buy groceries. That's how they survive.
In this economy?
I know. Tell me about it. So I'm assuming these little toys are pretty pricey, but to get by. But,
right.
But anyway, so Nev receives a letter from Deephaven saying not only are they accepted, but it's a full ride.
Oh, wow.
So most of the people who go to this school, it is, of course, for the talented and the gifted, but also for the extremely wealthy. Nev is not one of the wealthy, but they are very talented. Mm-hmm. So they get accepted, and they have this jacket that's full of pockets on the inside.
Oh, that sounds cool.
And they keep all of like the things that they put their little toys together with in these pockets. They're also kind of a kleptomaniac because they just steal things and keep it in the pockets.
It's very Inspector
Gadget.
Pockets for. That's why you have pockets.
Amazing.
But they kept this letter in their pocket for a long time. And then on the day that the authorities basically come to kick them and their father out is the day that they say, you can take my dad, I'm going to go to Deephaven.
Oh, wow.
So just basically divorces themselves from the dad completely. Yeah. So, but they have like recurring nightmares about this because of the guilt and stuff like that. So anyway, we go to Deephaven, and if anybody watched Wednesday, very similar vibes. Very similar vibes. Where like it's like a dark school. The principal is intimidating.
A werewolf? I'm just kidding.
Well, there is a monster among the students.
Okay,
so
okay.
And magic kind of plays a part in this and everything. So the one prefect, Patience, I think is her name. Yeah. Patience, she runs basically like seances. But in order to get like on her good side, you have to go to these things. So it's a good thing if you're on Patience's good side.
Okay.
So Nev finds themselves in her good graces. So they go to this seance kind of a thing. And it's in, of course, the forbidden East Wing. So it's always the East Wing.
Those wings.
Yeah. So the East Wing you're not allowed to go in there. It's because it's condemned because the building is falling apart, and the rumor is that a student died because of the rickety building, and now it's haunted. That's not actually the case. So you find out during this seance, Nev sees something, and it's this horrifying creature that's on the cover. Oh. And the descriptions are really well done in this book, where they talk about like the line of teeth, and they're really sharp, and long greasy black hair, but moves really quickly. I'm like, all things I hate. So that's great. So
I love a good description of an evil being. Like who does it so the monstrumologist. Like that Frick Yancey, like nailed it. Like with that description in the coffin with the creature like you could like feel like clutch.
Going back to my rom-com.
I'm sorry. Go on.
So anyway, we find out that this is not a monster. It's actually a former student.
Oh,
the
great.
former student that we all thought was dead.
Oh no.
So who turned her? None other than Patience.
Oh my
Patience
gosh.
turned her. And once with magic, once something is done, it can't be undone. Okay. At least that's what the belief is.
Okay.
Until Nev, who's really good at puzzles, decides they're gonna try to fix it.
I love.
So I'll leave it there. It was very good. If you have kids who are looking for a book that doesn't have romance, no romance.
Nice.
It's just good relationships. I think there's like a hint at maybe a flame somewhere, but for the most part, it's very much just friendship and very clean. It's the descriptions are really well done, so it's scary. I feel like I wouldn't hand this to like a fourth grader because they would be afraid. Yeah. But it was just really well done. Slow at times, but when the action picks up, it really picks up. But I definitely would recommend this. And then I don't know how many hours in the day Justin has, because I feel like Justin always reads so much. But I picked up this like 100-page graphic novel. And I was like, let me take 15 minutes and go through this one. So this one is called Lost Boy. My God, I hope that there's more to this one.
Oh, no.
Because it ends really in a very disappointing place. But anyway, so excuse me. So what this story is about, exactly that, a lost boy. Kind of reminiscent of like Hatchet, where it's a survivalist story.
Okay.
So, and it's extremely short. You'll read it in 20 minutes, but the illustrations really tell the story very quickly. And you know exactly who this kid is, who his dad is, and the scenario that he's dumped into. So his dad takes him out of LA and takes him to Wyoming for a skiing trip. He doesn't ski.
What?
So the opening scenes, you see him with his headphones on, and his dad's like, the least you could do is show some appreciation and talk to me. He's like, you pulled me out of LA to go skiing when I don't ski. Like, what do you want from me? So there's clearly some like friction between the two of them. And that's when his father crashes the car.
Of course. Oh my God.
Yes.
My worst nightmare.
Yes. So the boy is thrown from the car.
There you go.
And that, I knew I could find it. He's thrown from the car, and he sees that the car is like teetering over a cliff. So he like yells out to his dad, like, I'm coming, don't move, I'm coming. And then you see like the font like gets smaller and smaller. He's like, I'm just so cold, I'm just so tired. So he goes to sleep.
Oh no.
In his first dream, and he has a series of dreams. In his first dream, his father says, now's not the time to go to sleep. It must have been a concussion. Like, you need to wake up. And he's like, yeah, but what about you? And he's like, don't worry about me. All you've ever done is run from your problems. You can't run from this.
Oh my God.
Like, you need to do this. So he wakes up to find that his father has died.
Oh my gosh.
And he fell. So he's at the bottom of this cliff.
Gosh.
He's at the bottom of this cliff, and there is a baby deer. That's what caused the accident in the first place. His father swerved to avoid hitting the deer, hit the deer. And so he went.
Is the deer dead?
Yeah.
Oh,
but hold on.
Forget it.
I don't want it.
But there's a baby deer, and the baby deer becomes
But now
like,
the baby deer's an orphan.
no, it's not. No,
like him.
well, obviously, so they kind of
Oh,
they bond
I
because of
see
this.
where we're
At
going.
first, the boy is like, "Get out of here! Like, I'm in this situation because of you." And then the baby deer ends up kind of saving his life because the baby deer knows where it is and can warn him about wolves that are coming for him and stuff like that. It is graphic, and I'm not just saying that because it's a graphic novel. Like, you see things.
Oh, gosh.
But although he's mad at the deer at first, he finds that that's his saving grace. And the deer ends up saving him just as much as he ends up saving the deer quite often.
Is there really a deer?
Yes, no, I swear there really is a baby
Is there really a deer?
So, wolves are chasing them.
Okay.
And he has like 3 flares, a broken phone, and like corn nuts. That's what he has to survive. So
I've lived off of less.
so in this economy. So anyway, the wolves are coming after them, and he has another dream, and he's woken up by the deer waking him up saying like something's coming. So he wakes up, and right when you think like, oh, there's no way out of this, something huge happens, and then the book ends.
Oh
and
my
I'm like,
God.
what?
Oh, it's
So-
new. So when did it come out?
It came out August.
We got to wait a while.
But
Wow.
my only gripe with it, I don't necessarily like when internal thought is spoken.
Right.
So there's a lot of that, like,
And you don't need
what
to
are we
with a
gonna do?
graphic.
I'm like, nah.
With a graphic novel.
You don't need to.
You don't
right.
need to do
No.
that.
No.
You can have a thought bubble
Yeah.
Right.
instead of a
Right.
speech bubble.
So
it's
I
just a
understand-
different bubble.
Right. It's just a different a circle instead of a line. Like, so I have irritations with, like, I feel like the Jim Carrey gif, like, who you talking to? Like, who are you talking to? But it's very well done with a couple of things that I would have changed. But
Yeah.
I hope you guys read it. It was
Cool.
good.
I might actually pick it up.
It'll take you 5 minutes. to
Yeah,
read.
I'll probably read it.
I
when
think I
I'm in the
timed
tea
myself.
room.
It was like 11 minutes.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Very nice.
So that's it for me.
I stay up really late, by the way, and read books. I shouldn't, but I do.
Like,
That's how I read.
I'm sitting on the couch drooling, being like, I need to go to sleep. There's no way. No way.
Oh, once those kids are in bed, I'm like, all right, give me my books.
Justin always comes out with these like 600-page.
No,
Same thing with Rosa.
well, Rosa,
He's
yeah,
come out with these
I know.
massive books. I'm like, when?
I mean, this was like 400 pages.
And Rosa arrives at work with like
I know.
15
She
books
does.
in her bag
It's
and then
ridiculous.
leaves with that.
And they're red.
I
Those.
know. I know.
And then remembers every
I
detail
know.
about
She
them.
really does. Yeah, you do.
You do.
Yes, you do.
You have an impeccable memory. It's amazing.
Oh,
No pressure.
Yeah.
just wanted to say Deephaven's really good, not just because it's October, but it's also Ace Week.
Oh.
Really good
Excellent.
read.
I did that on
Ashley,
purpose.
you do that, right?
That was on purpose.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, my first one is Vengeance of the Pirate Queen.
Love that
So
cover.
this is a companion to the duology for Daughter of a Pirate King.
Okay.
By Tricia Levenseller. And this and that duology is basically if you like Pirates of the Caribbean, but in this one, it would be like if Elizabeth Swann was an assassin.
Amazing.
I was lucky enough to get this. This doesn't come out until like 2 weeks from now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so, and I got to meet the author
Nice.
at Comic-Con. She was so sweet. And so this one I actually liked a lot more than the original duology because the original duology was very debut YA, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This one is a little more polished. The characters are more enjoyable, especially the main character. So it picks up where the duology ends, but you don't really need to read it because it really follows this character's backstory and her journey from then on. She was just a very minor character in the original duology, and then she gets her own spin-off. She's basically so the new pirate queen in the original duology is Alosa, and she appoints one of her most trusted crew members, who is her assassin, to be the captain of a new ship to go rescue some spies that she sent to the north. And she has not had any word from her spies, and she's worried that they might have been compromised. So Serinda, who is the new pirate queen, is not used to being in a leadership role. And she has a lot of issues with being perceived, being seen. She likes to like lurk in the shadows, kill people, and then be off.
Okay. I like her already.
Yeah. And she takes no crap, if I can say that. She's very like straightforward, and she just doesn't like to like mess around. And there is a crew member she has to deal with who is very interested in her, but she's like, I have no time for this. I have to go rescue people. And basically, they sail off. And if you love Pirates of the Caribbean, this is for you. It has like everything you like in that book. It has, a perilous sea journey. It has a really fun crew, mostly of just female pirates.
It's amazing. Like, I've never heard of like pirates women. Like that's never really happened.
Yeah, Daughter of Pirate King and Seafire has all female pirate crews.
Nice.
So this one, and then it also has like a little bit of the supernatural because there are sirens, and then there's a little bit of horror, kind of like in Pirates of the Caribbean where you have like an undead army. So a little bit of romance, actually a lot of romance. So if you like romance, basically. She
like romance.
Yeah,
Not at all. Pirate romance.
so if you really like want like something really fast and like really like just pure fun, like I definitely recommend this.
Cool.
It was a really quick read too. Like it took me like 2 days. Like, and usually I'm a very slow reader these days.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you one bit. I don't believe you one bit.
But yeah,
Have you read Adventures of Amina al-Sirafi?
that's on my TBR.
I
keep
think
adding.
Elias
Chakraborty?
was talking about it. It's apparently it's a fantasy, but only because there's like sea monsters.
Oh,
Everything
nice.
else is just this female pirate.
Yeah,
and her
okay.
crew and everything. I've heard good things.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's go, female pirate.
Yeah.
Month.
Yeah, finally, because like they're always saying like, you know what, we don't get distracted like the male pirates do. We get stuff.
We get stuff done. We are
True in
queens
life,
on
not
the
just
ship.
for pirates.
No, in life,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Yeah, we should
Sorry,
just be
men.
pirates.
Men are doing like one thing. We're doing like 5 things.
They really are.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Exactly. But yeah, definitely recommend it. And it's really weird because like I usually read like spooky stuff all year long, but these are like lighthearted stuff for October.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, Ashley. You never read. It's good. You gave us a nice, foil.
Yeah, no problem.
there
That's
we
what I'm
go.
here for.
That's what she's here for.
I bring it down a shade.
She brings the horror. She
Move
brings
down.
the gore.
You sharpen things a little.
Yeah,
It's no
yeah.
problem. That's what
We
I'm here
need
for.
it. We need it.
Okay, so this one, speaking of Bridgerton, this
jeez.
one again
She's clocked out. She's not here anymore.
doesn't come out until January,
Oh, right.
but it's so good. It's basically Bridgerton meets Studio Ghibli movies.
No, give it to me now. Give it to me now.
this
Oh
one-
my gosh.
Basically, it's kind of like Howls.
Oh.
Specifically.
I'm sorry.
Well, this is it. This is the rom-com. This is not the romance that we're going to get Ashley
Wow.
to our
I
side.
do
She's
like
going
Howl's
to read
Moving
this.
Castle.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's,
This is
I would
it.
say
This
it's a
is
lot
that
deeper than
crossover you
Bridgerton.
need.
yeah.
That's the zombie.
That's the zombie I need. Exactly.
All right.
Okay, tell us about this.
So basically, this is set in like a fantasy version of Regency, of the Regency period. This is about a girl named Nev, or spelled Nimh, because she comes from Auckland, which is coded as Ireland.
Of course.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, Deephaven, it's Nev.
Oh my gosh.
So continue.
So Auckland is just coming from like a bloody rebellion where Avaland, which is England, colonized them. So they're everybody's starving and impoverished. But Nev has this ability to sew magic into anything she creates. So she makes dresses and like gloves and like stuff like that, and she can imbue magic into it. But it's connected to a condition where it turns her hair white and it weakens her. And so she gets. I love that. Yeah. So she gets an invitation from the royals of Avaland, telling her, we would like to commission you for a wedding dress because the crown princess of Castilla, which is Spain, is coming to marry our prince, who is named Kit. And he is the second in line. So she basically leaves everything, goes to the royal palace to live there and work for the royal family, hoping to like make her mother and grandmother like some money because everybody's starving. And so when she first meets the prince, he's very mean because he doesn't want to be married off to somebody he doesn't know.
Of course.
But she also has to make his wedding attire in addition to the princess. So that's when this connection happens. It starts building up. And she's like, but he's getting married to somebody else.
Yeah.
Also,
someone he's never met, by the way.
yeah, that princess is named Rosa and is literally me on the page. She's like this goth princess who hates like sunlight, wants to stay indoors, doesn't want to do anything. And I told the author, I was like, this is kind of like me. She's like, oh my God, I literally wrote you into the book. And I was like, this is so cool. But yeah. So yeah, she's like, I also like the princess. We're friends now. I don't want to be like,
Stealing your
Yeah.
guy.
yeah. Thing is,
It's a different kind of
princess
triangle.
might not be swinging his way.
Okay.
So,
now we do have some fun.
Right.
But in the meantime, there is somebody who's writing scandal sheets about the goings-on of the ton.
There it is, Bridgerton, baby.
And it's starting to ruin the marriage because if the marriage doesn't go through, it might be war with Castilla.
Oh boy.
So
Awesome.
they have a lot of problems.
Has this author written something else? The name?
A Far Wilder Magic. And
That's what it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
I keep looking at the
Okay.
name, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Amazing magic like system. I really like the her sewing magic into the dresses because like she can make the dresses. If you're a customer who wants like to attract love with the dress, she can sew that in. If you want to attract wealth or a good marriage, she can sew that into the dress. Or if you just want attention, she can sew that into the dress. Like it's amazing. And I'm such a fan of like her writing style anyway. So like I thought it was just like a lot of fun to like
Standalone?
Yes, it's a standalone.
Awesome.
Yes.
In. Sold. I have no time for like trilogies,
know.
and I just can't.
Yeah.
Plus, you have to wait, like with the Lost Boy.
Yeah.
Like, no, what do I do? I gotta wait.
I know.
And then you forget like what happens.
Yes.
Oh
and
my
then you have
gosh,
to
that's
reread.
oh my gosh, that is the worst. That is the worst because you're like, I read this like a year ago. That's what I did with Legendborn. Like I had to like listen to the audiobook just to remember what happened in the first place. Totally worth it though. That was a great. That I'll sit through.
Yeah.
Well, awesome. I think this was a great session. Again, I used the description of just 4 librarians adding to each other's TBR pile, and I genuinely think we do that, and we
Picked
hope
up 2 at least.
we hope we added to your pile, listeners. So we'll see you next time, and thanks for tuning in. Thanks, ladies. Bye.
The All Booked podcast is written, edited, produced, and hosted by Justin, Ashley, Brittin, and Rosa. All Booked is produced out of the Ridgewood Public Library. Please consider subscribing and sharing with friends, and follow us on Facebook. You can find links to the books we talked about today in the description. Thanks for listening, and keep reading.